That was a show, man. I don't even know where to begin. So I'm not gonna say hey Rebels, I'm gonna say hey fellow Coldplayers. My name is PJ aka Coldplay, and before I actually do start this video, I made a really actually it's, you know, why don't I just show you? If you go to my Coldplay account on my Tumblr, where it all started 2 years ago, I made a really long Tumblr post, and it's also on the side of my page right here, and it's called September 23rd, 2017 was the best day of my life. You can click on that and it goes into much detail about what happened that day, although I did leave some things out, which I will be talking about in this video. But it goes into a lot of detail, and it also has posts on my Tumblr where I'm not going to mention some of them in this video, including that amazing quote from Chris. He said a lot of other things that night, but you know, it's also at the bottom of the page, so you can check all that out right now. Yeah, I would highly recommend you look at all that first, but in case you can't sit there and read all that, I am going to be talking about some of those things in this video. So a common question that I get asked on my Tumblr, on my Instagram, on all of my Q&A videos is, why am I so obsessed with Coldplay, and how did they change my life or ruin it, as I put it? Well, I finally found the video to answer that question in. So it all started when I was 5 years old. That's when A Rush of Blood to the Head was released in 2002. And of course, Clocks was like the big hit that everyone knew, that everyone can pretty much identify. And that song always played on the radio when I was in kindergarten and first grade. I guess it was like that big of a hit that it played for like over a year straight. And that's when I just fell in love with the band. And then in 2005, Speed of Sound was the big hit off the album X and Y, which is the other album that I grew up with. So I would hear that song a lot on the radio as well. And every single time that either of those songs played on the radio, I would just calm down, go into some sort of trance. I was just so fascinated by Coldplay and Chris Martin's unique vocals. So I mentioned this here, and I mentioned this on my Tumblr, but still some people don't know. I have autism, and there was a viral video a couple months ago, or maybe it was over a year ago, but there was a video of an autistic boy and his dad who were listening to Coldplay live, and the autistic boy was calming down or something and was like really moved by the performance. Ladies and gentlemen, that was also me when I was 5 years old. I don't remember how old he was in the video, but when I was his age, that was my exact reaction to Coldplay. From that point on, all I listened to was pretty much Coldplay. In fact, I started to sing because of Coldplay. Why do you think most of my covers on this channel are of Coldplay? I love singing Coldplay, and my voice was literally shaped by Coldplay. Most autistic people have what's known as echolalia, which is basically, you know how parrots repeat stuff from humans and they say it back or whatever? That's basically what echolalia is. So whatever I was hearing from Chris, I would repeat it back almost in the same way that he was when he was singing. Like, it doesn't sound exactly like Chris, but it's just, when I do Coldplay covers, I feel like I'm imitating Chris pretty well, even with female vocals. Coldplay are literally the reasons why I'm a singer-songwriter. My music is very heavily inspired by Coldplay and by Owl City, but that's a different story. Anyways, I just grew up listening to Coldplay. I even told my mom when I was like 8 or 9 years old that I wanted to be adopted by Chris Martin, and she got mad. But ever since I was a kid, I have wanted to see Coldplay live. And I remember that in middle school, my best friend, who's also a Coldplay fan, we were freaking out over the release of Milo Xyloto. But my mom said something along the lines of, you have school tomorrow, you can't go, and my dreams were just crushed in an instant. I was so sad. And I really loved that album too. That album was also really colorful, because obviously the theme was like graffiti art and stuff like that, and it was just, oh man. I was so disappointed I missed out on that tour. Then I heard of the Ghost Stories tour, and I was like, well, it's kind of small anyway, and I actually wasn't that big of a fan of Ghost Stories, because, I don't know, that album was just too calming for me. But I did like it. I like the album, it's just not, it's like the only album that I don't really like. Just before A Head Full of Dreams was even announced, I had made my Tumblr account. My best friend, the same one who I was freaking out with over Milo Xyloto, she was like, well, why don't you make a Coldplay account on Tumblr so you can like share your obsession with other people? Because my best friend has her own Tumblr account dedicated to Attack on Titan, which is a completely different thing. But she was like having fun sharing her artwork and interacting with other people who loved Attack on Titan as well. So I thought, you know what, that's actually a really good idea. I don't know why I hadn't thought about it before. So then I was like, well, I don't think there's that many Coldplay people on Tumblr. So then my best friend said something along the lines of, well, why don't you just make like a meme account or something? Ladies and gentlemen, Coldplay was formed. I don't know how I came up with Coldplay. I think it was just, I wanted to derp the word Coldplay, and I did somehow. I don't know how I came up with the whole edit thing about putting like the words over the picture and making Coldplay say these funny things, but that's what happened. Again, I thought people were gonna hate it. I thought I was gonna get hate for it because it's technically making fun of them. But no, a lot of you guys actually liked that and even sent me requests for different pictures. Like, you would send me a picture and say, hey, derp this or do something with it. And I was so overwhelmed and so amazed by all the support that I was getting. What I really like about the Coldplay fandom, and you know, I'm in a lot of fandoms. There is no fandom like the Coldplay fandom. Everyone is so loving and supporting, and I really haven't seen that in many other fandoms. And that's just one thing that I really like about being a Coldplay fan or being a Coldplayer. It's because, I don't even know how to put it into words, it's just Coldplay sends this like positive message everywhere. Coldplay really do have like this amazing impact on the entire world. I'm friends with one of my best friends because of Coldplay. It's just, wow. I never thought I'd meet so many amazing people through this Tumblr account, through my Instagram account. It's been crazy. Okay, where were we again? Oh yeah. So it all started with Coldplay in 2015, and that's when A Head Full of Dreams was announced. And I remember like reblogging all the stuff I saw about the album. I'm like, yes, I can't wait for this album. It's gonna be huge because this could be their last album, which I don't think it is, but it's gonna be a really big album. And then the album was released, and then the first leg of the American tour was announced. And when I saw that there were no dates for any cities in the Pacific Northwest, I cried. Sure, they always go to California and stuff, but I had flown to California a few years ago for a different concert, and it wasn't too great of an experience, so I didn't really want to do that again. So I kept my hopes up. I'm like, I really hope they come to Seattle. I don't think they ever will, but you know what? I still have that like instinct that they're gonna come back to the Pacific Northwest one day. It's probably not gonna happen, but it might. A year later, it actually was a reality. I saw it. Like in that announcement video where they like had all the abbreviations of the states, in that split second, I saw the abbreviation WA, WA. I dropped my phone. I lost it. I couldn't believe it was true. So I was already on Coldplay.com. I was subscribed. I got the like pre-sale ticket code, whatever, to buy the tickets before pretty much the general public could. And I was like, I have to be on the floor. I have to be somewhere near the stage without going over budget. So when the tickets were on sale, I went as, you know what, actually, I do have videos of that. Let me show you. At first, I was only getting options that were off the floor, that were like in certain sections, way up in the nosebleed section. I was like getting so frustrated and I was crying. My mom was like, calm down, you're gonna get those VIP tickets, or not really VIP, but you're gonna get those like really special tickets and we're gonna do whatever it takes to get them. And so I calmed down after like 2 minutes of having the internet freeze on me several times because of everyone trying to buy these tickets. Opened a different browser, and for some reason, that worked. I got those tickets randomly by the B stage, well actually near the B stage, but I was still like 10 feet away from the B stage. Yeah, boy, you better believe I bought those as fast as I could. I didn't care how much they were. I cried. I cried for I think 2 hours after I got those tickets. I'm like, the concert's a year away, but I'm so ready to see them. I'm so ready to see my childhood idols. So all of a sudden, pretty much a year flies by. Wow, I didn't actually think that it would fly by that fast. And on the concert day, I woke up pretty early, for me at least, because I usually don't wake up till 1 p.m. I met up with my friend, and yeah, we just went. And the weird thing was, it said something on the CenturyLink website about you're not supposed to line up that early. But some people were anyway, but we got there like an hour before the gates opened, and there was like no one there. While we were sitting on the ground, we were listening to Coldplay warming up, and they played Violet Hill, which I knew they weren't going to play it in the concert. but I was still like really excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hear Chris, this is insane. Gates opened, opening acts, I'm gonna skip that part because like Alina Baraz was fantastic. I'm not really a big fan of Tuvlo because as a sex-repulsed asexual, I don't like her music, but she's got a great voice. But after 2 hours of sitting in the audience and waiting for Coldplay to come on, they finally did. I don't know how I kept myself cool during the first recording of the intro plus A Head Full of Dreams, which is the video before this one. You can watch that. I was tempted to I was singing along, which you can't hear in the video because people were so tall around us. I had to like hold up my phone really high and like get all of that on video, but I was singing along to every song. I was trying so hard not to sing, but I was singing so loudly, and I'm sure I embarrassed my friend a little bit because of how big of a fan I am. It was everything that I hoped for and more. So a little detail about what happened. So first of all, before the show, I should mention that there was a security guard who was working for the event. Now my friend and I were so early that we were one of the first ones on the floor, and the security guy came up to us because he was just informed of this at the moment, but he was like, okay, you need to get your phones out during this part of the show. The path to the C stage, which was like a completely separate stage off from the B stage and the main stage, like somewhere in the back of the floor or whatever, he said there's going to be a path to that stage, and that path happens to be right next to your seats. My friend and I were just like, are you serious? And then he just walked away smiling like that. That already made my day, and the concert hadn't even started yet. And that moment finally came during the concert, and here it is. Here's the video I got.
Watch out, watch out.
Now my best friend was like, you know what? If Coldplay's near us, you can shove me out of the way. I don't care. Just go ahead. And I'm like, you're a true friend. Thank you. But I never did that because, you know, I didn't want to, I'm a good person, okay? But when that moment finally came, I shoved everyone else out of the way. I wanted to be up front. The security people were right in front of me. You know, I see why they're there, obviously. But I couldn't give Chris a high five, sadly. But I saw them, I flipped. Right after the video ended, I turned to my friend who was behind me, and I started like bawling. The security guy gave me weird looks, but I don't even care. My best friend was like, did you see them? Did you see them? I'm like, yeah, I did. And I was like hugging her, crying my eyes out. It was just, oh my gosh. I'm never gonna have a moment like that ever again, I don't think. And some other highlights of the concert, I held up my sign, which in case you guys didn't see my post, here it is. I held up that sign when the whole band moved to the B stage, and I'm pretty sure Johnny saw it because he had this like really serious expression on his face, and then he looked over at me and my sign, and all of a sudden he just like smiled really widely, like nearly laughing actually. Yeah, that made me feel really good, and I think at one point or another Chris might have seen it too, but he was trying to squint like while reading my sign. I know I have really tiny handwriting, so I understand if he didn't see it. But I'm pretty sure he saw it too. He just didn't, you know, acknowledge it because he couldn't read it. I don't blame him at all though. And then of course, I actually ran into some of you guys, not who follow me on Coldplay, but just other Coldplayers who were really, really nice. We sat next to this couple, but they'd been to like several Coldplay shows. They're like, is this your first Coldplay concert? I'm like, yeah, I'm so excited. And they were super nice. And there was even like a couple guys behind us who were also super fans, and one of them even noticed how I did up my hand to look like Chris Martin's Fair Trade from the X and Y era. And there was another fan who also made a sign who was like waiting in line with us, and then we found her later on. She actually sat like a couple rows in front of us. Every Coldplayer that I have met so far has been incredibly nice and incredibly supportive. That's just amazing. Would I see Coldplay again? Duh. Was it worth the 15-year wait? Absolutely. If you have not seen this band live, people, you are missing out. They had fireworks, they had flames, they had confetti several times, they had lasers, they had everything. And throughout the whole show, they were like, put on your wristband, recycle your wristband. Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna recycle this wristband. And it's not a wristband. It is called a Xyloband. Thank you. Yeah, by the way, that Xyloband is over there. That ticket's over there. all the confetti from the show and the love button. And well, I took this love button down and halfway through the video and put it on myself. But I now officially have a Coldplay Shrine, and I think my life is complete. But since I reached my goal, now I don't know what to do. Oh, and if I like pan the camera up a little bit actually, oh. Yeah, I left my legacy. I don't know if you guys saw my Tumblr post, but I left my legacy on that chair. That has been my profile picture for my Tumblr account and my Instagram account for over 2 years. That is what started all of my derp edits. That's what started this channel. This channel used to be called Peyton Justine 97, but last year in September, yeah, a little over a year ago, I changed it to Coldplay because I thought this channel was going to be me doing vlogs all the time, me doing different covers. Turns out all of my covers had to do with Coldplay anyway, and all of my memes transitioned into videos, and that is why I renamed this channel to Coldplay. So if you're going to subscribe to me for Coldplay, that's great. I'm definitely going to make more Coldplay related content, but I also will be making vlogs. There are a few vlogs on here that are about my autism, that are about asexuality. I probably will be making those videos too. So I hope you guys don't mind that. I know some of you didn't subscribe for that, but that's also what I do on this channel. But to sum everything up, September 23rd, 2017 will forever be the best day of my life. So I'm already gonna say bye-bye, but here's actually the part of the video you were probably waiting for. Here is the rest of the footage and other stuff from the concert that were too short to actually make into separate videos, so enjoy.
Guys, the show hasn't even started and I'm already freaking crying and like freaking out. I need to like show you this, like this beautiful sight right here. Oh my god, I'm shaking. I hope the camera's not shaking. And then behind me is all that gloriousness. Oh my god. Are you excited, Anya?
Yeah!
Yeah, we're that close to Chris Martin and the rest of the band and I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Take a video.
Anyway, I think this is probably the first song we ever played in America. Now we're going to play here. This is by us, so this is with the 12 men. This is called Don't Panic, and this is going to be sung by starring fucking awesome man, being world champion on vocals. Here we go. sinking like stones all over those places we've been all around. Oh, morning come bursting, the clouds evening. Lift off this blindfold, let me see again. And bring back the water, let your ships roll in. In my heart she